Young black youth.
Somebody is going to get hurt.
And 2 were shot.
These teen takeovers, they are getting out of control. Crowds and mobs, honestly, of young people shutting down the streets, destroying property, and daring the police to harm them, hell, even harming them.
The officer was punched and hit by an unknown object.
But behind all this chaos is a story that isn't told enough. It's a generation growing up without fathers, a generation growing up without a nurturing home, and a generation that's just chasing social media clout. And in this video, we're gonna be talking about all of this and more. So if you like this kind of content, be sure to subscribe.
This is particularly happening with young black youth in our city. Young black youth that already have stigma and stereotypes attached to them that are causing this chaos in our neighborhoods.
That's such a fair point. We already have the stigma. People already have so much black fatigue. It's like we're not helping how we're being looked at in society. We want to talk about, oh, well, Black Lives Matter, and I'm tired of being judged, and all these prejudices faced against me of being black in America. Look at how we're acting in the streets. Look at what's going on in these major cities. You don't see mobs of white people getting together like this. It's typically always the black kids.
PD, who was on the scene Saturday night, tells me the teens robbed and assaulted people leaving an event at the bullpen, and that officers are hesitant to intervene and put their hands on a teen or child breaking the law. Daniel says the problem starts at home.
Yes.
Bad parenting can't result in the community taking it upon themselves to discipline kids or, to be the guardians of these kids.
And he's exactly right. It shouldn't be the city's responsibility. It shouldn't be the community's responsibility to take care of all these children. If you just acted right, things would be fine, but you're not. You're acting fools in the street, referring to the people and doing these teen takeovers. And a lot of this is directly correlated to the parenting or lack of that's going on at home. All these teenagers, where are your parents at? And you look at the data, and more than half of them don't got daddies at home. And then all the mamas are too busy working, take care of themselves. They don't have time to focus on where their teen is at. Because I get it. I mean, when I was a teenager, I hung out outside all the time. I was at the local parks. We were like at Target, like playing hide and seek at Walmart. Like we were having fun, but it wasn't crazy. It wasn't rowdy. It wasn't blocking traffic. It wasn't robbing or hurting people. None of that was a thing. But now with these teen takeovers, it's just getting completely out of control.
At one point, Advisory Neighborhood Commissioner Edward Daniels says
Do you see this? And the crazy part is, like, obviously this is Washington, D.C. Trump is there. Trump's fed up. He's absolutely fed up, and he's saying, you know what? We're sending the feds into the streets. The city of DC, like DC themselves, they're not handling this right. It's happening too much. I want to send the feds in to take control of this manner. And while he wants to take control of this, it's frustrating. Oh, it's so frustrating. Just wait till you see this. It's frustrating how data can be manipulated and how some things are talked about and some things aren't. Because yes, when you look at the data, at least from what I've seen and what I've looked at, the crime is dropping in DC, but certain types of crime. So while it is getting better, you're not getting the full picture of what's actually going on.
In fact, according to police, crime is down significantly in 2025, with statistics showing year-over-year reductions in homicides, sex abuse cases, assaults with a dangerous weapon, and robberies.
And yeah, if you look at homicide, SA, assault with a dangerous weapon, and robbery, those are on a decline so far this year. When you look at the teen takeovers are just crazy. They're just rowdy. They're obstructing business. They're obstructing the roads. Those are still crimes, but those aren't the crimes that we're seeing right here. So while yes, this crime is going down, and people are like, well, since crime's going down, Trump's being extra, Trump's just being Trump by sending the feds into the streets. You're not looking at what's actually going on and what's currently being built up. Because these teen takeovers aren't accounted for this, and they are on the rise. There are some cases where the robbery and the homicide that happens at a teen takeover, but I will say it's frustrating because yes, there are some teen takeovers where someone's harmed or something really bad happens. There are a lot of teen takeovers that are fine, where no one's hurt, but they are blocking traffic. They are being a nuisance to the public. They're disturbing the peace. They're just rowdy, and not like a group of 10 people being rowdy. No, hundreds. It's absolutely insane.
Do you feel safe walking around town?
Very much.
I feel very safe in the city, yeah.
Northwest Thursday, overwhelmingly, people we spoke with were against the president's plan, although not all.
I think that is probably unnecessary.
I mean, it depends on how they carry themselves. That's my honest opinion.
Yes, it depends on how they carry themselves. If you were just out and about in these big groups of teens, but you're being respectful, you weren't doing anything wrong, then sure, it's a little bit of like annoying seeing that many people together and not a planned event. But if y'all aren't hurting anything, it's fine. But at these teen takeovers, it's bound that there's some fighting happening. It's bound somebody's twerking, blocking traffic. At some of them, it's bound that looting's going to be involved. It's a hot mess.
National Guardsmen and fatigues on the corner, you'd be okay with that?
Oh, most definitely.
Your response to the president saying he might bring in federal law enforcement as well?
Man, chill out, Donald, man. Chill for a second, man.
No, who needs to chill is all these damn black teens. And I sound like Unc. I sound like a boomer that's like, these damn teenagers. Look at the footage. Just look at the footage. Just look at the footage. I'm not even trying to be that person that's like, oh, these damn teens, damn Gen Z. No, look at the footage. When I was a teenager, if there's anything remotely close to a teen takeover, it was a party. It was a Project X party. It was a big party at a house. That was as crazy as it got. Or even, because I attended SIU for a few years, Unofficial. That was like an event. That was like a thing. Solar Bear, Polar Bears, those were planned things. And you can look at those like teen takeovers, they're acting crazy and these damn college kids, but they were planned events. None of this. Okay, yes, the teen takeovers are planned, but I'm talking like, they're like planned events, yearly events. These teen takeovers, they're random, they're nonstop, they're at water parks, they're at theme parks, they're at malls, they're in the middle of the street, they're in the interstates. It's gotten completely out of hand. And we'll get to the parenting later on in this video, but I'm showing all this to show that there's so many people that just push it aside, don't even talk about it. And that's what's frustrating the most, is the people that don't talk about it, don't highlight what exactly is going on. And what we see here, Trump orders increased federal law enforcement presence in Washington to make DC safe again. Now, what I want to show you about this article is how they're not really showing and telling you why Trump is doing this. They're just using this as an opportunity to dig at Trump. Obviously, Trump, you can talk about him all day long if you want, but at least be for real. Be transparent about why he wants to increase federal law enforcement in DC. And major shout out to Ground News for giving us the tools to see the news from this type of lens. So if you like this kind of style, be sure to tap the link below or scan the QR code here on the screen. Looking right here on the left, and we'll get to the right too, but the left, Donald Trump orders increased federal law enforcement presence, enforcement to patrol DC, orders increased law enforcement, orders federal law enforcement officers patrol Washington DC. Why? How about you lead? How about you lead with what is going on in the city? New York Post, exclusive. Feds in DC arrest aide, sees stolen guns and drugs. Trump law enforcement crackdown takes aim at nation's capital. That's all you got to do for a title. And that would ease so much of the nation's confusion on why Trump just does things randomly. Because it seems random, but when you explain to people why it's not random, it's fine. White House plans to increase law enforcement as Trump eyes DC takeover. Yeah, I mean, New York Post really is honestly on the right too. The headlines can be adjusted too, but major shot, that was great from New York Post. I love how they have that laid out. And again, if you want access to this type of style and how we have the story and we have all the different sources talking about the same thing and how they're framing it and you can really see who's saying what, again, be sure to tap the link below or scan the QR code here on the screen to get involved with Ground News. And rest assured, this isn't just for the United States. You can go right up here to this corner and tap US edition and you can toggle between international, UK, Canada, and Europe, so you can always get the news that matters to you. And my favorite spot about Ground News is the section called Blind Spot, which shows you all the news that the left isn't talking about but the right is, and on the other side, all the news that the right is talking about but the left isn't. That way you can always stay grounded, because obviously everybody has their own biases. Let's go up here and see, okay, let's exactly, what is the left not talking about? It seems right here that the left isn't talking about how a Brooklyn woman was charged with threats targeting Jewish students, which, if we're being honest, makes sense because it's the right that mainly cares about the Jews more than the left. The left is very much Palestine, and the right is very much Israel. So that's not too surprising. And a story that we don't see the right talking about too much is Portland, Oregon to pay $3.75 million to estate of an unarmed man fatally shot by police. I didn't hear about this at all, so I'm glad I'm seeing this, but the right is really gonna be talking about police making mistakes, as the left, they hate police more than the right, and they're gonna talk about that. So that's just a quick example of how Blind Spot works, and it shows you exactly what you're not being shown on either side. So if you like this kind of style and how everything was laid out and you wanna get involved with Ground News, be sure to tap the link below, scan the QR code here on the screen. They're giving you 40% off the Vantage plan, which is the one that I use, which unlocks all the cool features that we've gone through in this video. And that comes out to the price of like a coffee a month, which is totally worth it in my opinion, given how toxic and crazy our news media is. If you want to get the news where I get the news, Ground News is the spot that I go.
Authorities in the western suburbs are investigating a teen takeover at a Park District pool.
This happened over the weekend at the Sunset Pool in Glen Ellen. WGN's Courtney Spinelli has the details.
Police estimate between 200 and 300 people came out here to Sunset Pool just before 5 o'clock Saturday, some of them causing issues, resulting in it being closed down for the remainder of the day.
Glen Ellen's really a quiet town. I know I've been talking to some of the parents today and a couple of the kids too, and they were definitely kind of freaked out.
On a scorching Saturday, a chance for families to cool off and enjoy the Park District Sunset Pool, delving into what witnesses call chaos. Video shared with WGN shows the moment a manager was pushed into the lap pool while trying.
And who's in the crowd? Don't worry, I'll wait. Who's in the crowd? It's so frustrating. It really is.
And appears to help her out of the water while others can be seen laughing. Police say some of the people in the group went in without paying, were smoking pot, drinking alcohol, and setting off fireworks. Police called in backup from area agencies to help disperse the crowds. John Horst lived in Glen Ellen for a long time and was at the pool Saturday leaving before everything happened.
Yeah, it was a peaceful day, I guess, up until later in the day. I was long gone by then.
Police sources say many of these so-called teen takeovers are organized on social media pages like this one, naming places from Chicago to the suburbs.
Not Bolingbrook. That's where I grew up. That's my hometown. Not Bolingbrook. Come on, y'all. Come on.
One of the posts referencing Naperville, and police say they were aware and had officers ready, but no issues were reported. It's not clear whether this was connected or if that group came to Glen Ellen instead.
They're coming with an intent to be disruptive. There's no question about that.
And that's what's frustrating about all this the most is how planned and organized some of these takeovers are and how their main goal is to be disruptive. You're being disruptive. You're disturbing the peace by coming in, smoking, putting off fireworks. You're throwing a manager in the pool. Why? And then you wonder why black people are looked at a certain way. You wonder why everybody has black fatigue. You wonder why nobody just likes black people. Ooh. Being so real, being so honest. You wonder why people like me who look just like me, my age, get judged. You wonder why there's so much racism out there. You wonder why so many people are looking like, oh, I don't want to be around black people. It's not because I'm brown. It's because of how people look like me. So, I mean, yeah, it's because I'm brown, but it's because it's mainly brown people doing the things like this nonstop. And it needs to stop.
We just hearing loud crowds come from each side.
Overwhelmed, because just why?
Yet when they saw who was causing the panic,
it really made me feel kind of angry a little bit.
Yes. Because those wreaking havoc looked just like them, and that fear turned into shame.
They setting that image for us as a community.
The majority in the crowd were unsupervised black teens. It's believed these downtown takeovers and recordings are all for social media clout.
Yes. You ruin it for the people who are minding their business, actually the young black girls and young black men who are doing good in society, who just want to be left alone. But because we're a minority, making up the majority of the worst stuff going on in our country, we get looked at a certain way. And it makes other people mad. It makes other people frustrated because it's damn, I can't even be mad that a white person's judging me right now because I'm judging other black people too.
But much of what we saw was criminal, not mischievous. People were injured, property damaged, and 2 were shot.
They put it on social media so people gonna see it, people gonna look at you like you this type of person, like you a gangster or you tough.
But even at age 14, Lontanisha can't understand how those teens don't see their actions could lead to racial profiling.
They look at us like, okay, you got one black child doing wrong, so all black kids do wrong, when it's really not that at all.
The youngsters from the mentoring group and many like them say they are afraid to come back.
Should nobody feel like they don't want to go downtown?
Them polo nigglets, them black babies, them 14, 15-year-olds, they want to mind their business. They want to be good, productive people in society. These rabid people out here acting a full industry who look just like us. And because, again, we make up a minority of the country, but majority of the worst things in society, we get looked at a certain way. And it's sad because you have people just minding their business, wanting to be good. And I got all these little black babies scared to come out back into the city, scared to be around other black people. They don't want to go to the city because of how people are acting. Now make that make sense.
You know that stuff they have on the news right now about the teen takeovers that happen downtown? Well, I'm sorry, when you put a curfew on every fun place for them to go, so you can't be in here after 2 p.m. without your mom and dad, where else are they supposed to go?
I'm gonna hold your hand when I say this. Why is there a curfew in the first place? When I go to the black areas of Nashville and I go to the malls in those black areas, why is there a curfew but not in the white neighborhoods? When I go to we'll bring it back, even Target and Walmart. in the black communities. Why is everything locked up, but in the white communities it's not? The reason everything's shut down at 2 p.m. and you need a chaperone is because of this and how they're acting. They had a place to go. You could go to the water parks, you can go to the mall, you can go to the movies, you can go to the restaurants, you can go to Dave & Buster's, you can go places if you act right. And the second we started acting like a fool, I say we, but the second young black teens started acting like a fool, boom, you ruined it for everybody. So you can't sit here and say Chicago is your fault for teen takeovers because the teens ain't got nowhere to go. It's the teens' fault for not acting right, and more so, the parents' fault for not parenting a damn soul.
It's 95 degrees. I'm going to be in the street with my friend blowing in the trees. Like, what else are they supposed to be doing? You're saying, be at home. Are you at home? No, you're out there in the streets. Like, I don't know. I think there just needs to be more things within the community to help uplift teens. Things that are free, doesn't cost a lot of money, and easy and accessible to get to. Saying we're going to put a curfew and we're going to put police presence, that does nothing except for those two young.
This lack of accountability just frustrates me so much because you sit here and act like teens didn't have that ability to do that. You act like you're not talking to a camera filled with a bunch of millennials who were outside all the time. I was outside all the time, but I wasn't acting a plumb fool. The lack of accountability within black culture and this young lady's attitude blaming everybody else because the teens ain't got nowhere to go. All these curfews are in place. Ma'am, they're in place because you're acting like a fool. And if we were acting right, there'll be things to do. You want to say, well, because teens ain't got nothing to do. What the hell are these white teenagers doing? Where are the white kids at? What are they doing? If it was all teenagers, I get it. But come on. Come on now. Let's be so for real.
So y'all still don't want to talk about what's going on in our communities. Somebody is going to get hurt. Somebody actually did get hurt. And we need to talk about what is being pushed out of these homes. Black women, why are you not paying attention to your children? Why are your children downtown Chicago wreaking havoc on everyone, making the world a worse place? Like, this shit is disgusting, and somebody has to do something about it. We cannot keep acting like this is because of white people. We need to do something. Like,
the amount of blame that the black community puts on white people is absurd. White people this, racism in America this, Black Lives Matter this. We need to look in the mirror for a second. Look around, have a town hall emergency meeting, and we need to address what's going on in the community. Because we need to address where the hell these black daddies are, hello, speaking from existence. And we need to address this lack of mothers providing a nurturing and safe environment for children. Because I get it, single mothers have it bad, but you can be a single mom and parent and lead. You can do what you gotta do. But it's clear we have a lot of single mothers out there just not carefree. They're just carefree. Just like, you know what? You just do you. I don't even care.
this is like a state of emergency in the black community. If we're not going to be accountable and we're not going to look inward and figure out some solutions to these problems, we are going to be just obsolete as a race. We need to take this more serious, and we need to do something about it.
Yeah. We need to do something about it, because to a certain point, it's already getting to that point, honestly. Everybody's just gonna hate blacks. And whether people want to say it or not, this is what we're gonna go down to that route, because the amount of black fatigue people are experiencing is crazy. The amount of black people that are acting a fool in the streets is crazy. The amount of other black people that are upset at other black people is rising, thankfully. But it is getting to an alarming point where in our society, it's like there's only so much people can do in their local community. There's only so much people can do, because the majority of it starts at home. We have to look inward at our homes, at our home structure, and how people are being raised, what people are being taught, how people are being led. That's what matters most. All this culture stuff and you know, the commentating, all that, yeah, it matters. The music, all of it matters. But it starts at home, and it needs to get to a point where we are really looking inward in the black community and saying, okay, hey, how am I going to raise my children? How am I going to make sure that they're not like all these other black children out there? How do I make sure that they know this is unacceptable? It starts there. Because like that other video we reacted to, you want to talk about, oh, it's because the teens ain't got nothing to do because all these curfews. Why are the curfews there in the first place? Why are they there in the first place? Look at that.
Until I told them that the number one problem facing the black community was not systemic racism, not police brutality, but the large number of kids who enter the world without a father in the home married to the mother. And instead of them supporting me, saying hallelujah, they jumped all over me. And I said, you are the problem. You are opinion shapers. You are role models in the community, and you are ignoring the 10,000-pound elephant in the room, which is the large number of kids who entered the world without a father married to the mother. And I said, forget about elder. Barack Obama once said a kid raised without a father is 5 times more likely to be poor and commit crime, 9 times more likely to drop out of school, and 20 times more likely to end up in jail. Now, the question you all ought to be asking is, how do we go from having 25% of black kids entering the world without a father in the home married to the mother in 1965 to today? You can't tell me today is more racist than it was back in 65. What we've done with our welfare state is we've incentivized women to marry the government, and we've incentivized men to abandon their financial and moral responsibility, and we should be addressing that issue.
Love Larry Elder. Met him a lot of times, got to speak to him a lot of times. Great man, and what he said is the truth. We've gotten to a point where now black mothers are incentivized to be single mothers because of all the government assistance that they're getting, and black men just leave. They just leave and don't have to worry about anything. And what that's doing is really raising a culture, raising a group of people in just not good environments, and we're seeing what's happening because of that. Black teens weren't acting like this in the 50s and 60s. They weren't acting this crazy. They weren't acting this buck. And you, like Larry said, you can't sit here and tell me that today's more racist than the 50s and 60s. It's just not. But what we do know that did change is a rate of mothers and parents being together in the home. It just doesn't exist in the black community, not as much as it should. You got black mamas having 2-3 kids, working full time, maybe sometimes even 2 jobs, they're like working so hard. They're taking care, like they're providing with government assistance. They're providing for the children, but like not even teaching or nurturing or providing, like raising. I mean, there's a word, raising the children. They're just providing for the children, not raising it, especially with the father being gone. And that is the elephant in the room that needs to be addressed, is how the lack of parenting for these black kids. Because you look at the white families, I'm sorry, we're just keeping it honest here. I'm not saying white people don't get divorced. I'm not saying they don't get remarried. What I am saying is that there is I'm not just talking on my ass. The footage is there. What happened last night's there. What we're seeing is around us. There's something that has happened within black culture, within the community, with the raising of the children, that has created some of the worst factions of our society. Sad to say it. And people are getting fed up at it. And I think the root cause always will come back to the family and how we are raising these children to be.
It don't take a fucking fuck ton of statistical research for y'all to see that black boys raised by single mothers are struggling with their identity. They're struggling with being able to manage their feelings. They're struggling with being disciplined, right? They're struggling with not only just discipline in general, but discipline over their sex. They're struggling with discipline over being able to stand up and make decisions as a man. They are being left behind in their upbringing in regards to their basics. This is why, for example, for those of y'all females that don't get where I be coming from, I got paid to do a podcast and I had on a brown dress. So if you see it, definitely look at it. And on the podcast, at one point, I very minimally explained. I said, not too much verbiage. I said, men and women should have their basics together. And I explained what the basics are. Feeding yourself, clothing yourself, bottom level, nothing crazy and successful, just taking care of the responsibilities that you fucked and made, having your own covered at a very basic level to be able to call yourself an adult before you mix your life with somebody else. I said you can date. Y'all can help alongside each other as y'all on y'all journey of getting y'all basics together, but you shouldn't mix your lives together without having that together. That's a live or a podcast clip that a lot of black men got on there and were triggered. They disagreed. They called me fat. They said, I don't know what I'm talking about. They talked about my deep voice. They did the same shit y'all did. It's a perfect example of how I don't have to say it's a problem, and you will see it's a problem. Meaning, like, all I did was state a fact, right?
It's a problem. You don't need the major statistics to just look around and say, there is something going on with black men and black women being raised in our society. There is something wrong with the family structure. There is something lacking in how these children are being raised. We see it. And she stated nothing but clear facts. If you have your job together, your life together, you cook your dinners, you're fit, you're taking care of like your home, you dress well, like you just take care of yourself. Do that first and then date someone else who's doing that, and then y'all get together and then have a family. It's typically going to be fine. But when you out here acting a fool, don't have anything in your life put together, and then another person has anything in their life put together, and y'all get together and create life, that life y'all created ain't gonna have shit to put together either. And we're seeing that happen, and we're seeing that unfold. It's unfortunate that these teen takeovers are on the rise. It's unfortunate that these teen takeovers exist to begin with, because to a certain extent, while I think they're deranged and crazy out here in these streets, I do feel bad for them. I do. Because you do look at these mobs of teens, especially we're focused on the black teens, you think about home. What are they lacking? Where is your mother? Where is your father? Why are you downtown right now acting a plumb fool? Not to say people with two parents aren't out there. Not to say people from the suburbs ain't out there. I get that they are. I'm not ignoring that. But we're going to look at the main picture here, which is this lack of family structure and what that's created and what these children are out here doing now in the streets. We see this even correlated, not even just the teen takeovers, but even when I do my generational videos talking about the schools and why Gen Z and Gen Alpha are making teachers quit, it goes right back to the home. The lack of parenting. It always goes back to the home. And I just wish more people were very, very careful and selective about who they're creating a home with, who they're having kids with, and taking it very, very serious. I really do. But with that being said, I love to know your opinion below. Let me know in the comment section. Have you seen these teen takeovers in person? Have you been involved in them? Have you been somewhere where they're blocking the traffic or they're acting a fool? Do you think it's just bored teenagers, or are you going to relate it back to the family? Love to know your opinion below. And as always, thank you for spending your time with me this evening, watching this video, sharing this content, and subscribing. Helps the channel grow a ton. I am more than thankful and honored to be in this position and have this camera and talk to you guys and connect with you guys and just start conversation. I absolutely love it, and it's my dream job, and I'm just very thankful for it. And I hope that you know, outside of the topic of this video, talking directly to you, if you're someone watching this video, whether I'm on your phone screen, your TV screen, I mean, you're listening in the car, you're on a walk, it does not matter. If this is for you, it's for you. Whatever you're going through right now, you're gonna be okay. It is temporary. It's called going through it for a reason. You're not stuck there. It is a season. I don't know what the hell you got going on. Bills, life, family drama, friend drama, relationship, whatever it may be. You personally, as a viewer of Amir Odom, as a supporter of Amir Odom, I know my supporters, y'all are great, and you're going to take care of yourself. And you know you're going to have the trust and faith that you are going to be okay. And you're going to have the trust and faith that later on in life, you're going to be living your dream life, whatever that looks like for you. You will be doing that. But in order to do that, you have to focus on your mental health, your wellness, and have your goals in line and lock in tunnel vision, only focus on you and only you. Don't get distracted by other people, other drama, other nonsense. Don't do it. Comparing yourself to other people, because where they at right now, when you don't know what 2 years look like. 2 years ago, I was door dashing. Okay, let's keep it real. Door dashing. And here we are today. So with that being said, love you guys a ton, and I'll see you in the next video. Deuces.